Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. I'm happy to be with you today. I hope you're having a good week, and I hope you have a great rest of the week too. This morning, I'd like to continue my little discussion of the Ten Commandments. And today, we get to Exodus chapter 8. Here's what it says. Remember to observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath day of rest, dedicated to the Lord your God. It goes on to say, on that day, no one in your household may do any work. This includes you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, your livestock, and any foreigners living among you. Well, this is an interesting passage for today. Let's go back and look at it in the Jewish day first. In the days of Moses, when this was written, the religious ceremonies were critical to pleasing God, or at least that's how the Jewish leaders understood them. And so, in order to make sure that we were acceptable to God, you had to go to all the feasts. There were 7 of them if you were an adult male. You had to perform sacrifices. Those were specified based on your basically socioeconomic status. And everybody had to obey the Sabbath. Or I think in Hebrew it would be called Sabbat. And they were very, very strict about that. Anyone who didn't was subject to ridicule, discipline, all kinds of stuff. Because the belief was that we have to keep the ceremonies intact. And I think that over time they forgot the purpose of keeping a holy Sabbath. That purpose was in the next verse, which I didn't read. And it says, for in 6 days the Lord made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and everything in them. But on the seventh day he rested. That is why the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart as holy. If you read that verse, you find out that keeping the Sabbath holy was not based on some rule about how the ceremony was to go, but it was based on the notion that even God needed rest. Now let's look at today. When I was a young boy, and you can see from my hair and my beard, I'm not a young man anymore. Not really old either, I hope, but nevertheless, I'm not a little kid. But when I was, there were a lot of stores that were closed. A lot of things you couldn't buy on Sunday called blue laws. It never did make any sense to me, and most places those laws are now gone. But people didn't go out to eat as much. They kind of stayed home. Um, most places didn't work. Their their stores were closed. The factories didn't open, and so you had a day to rest. Then, as time went on, as many of you know, things got busier. Stores started open on Sunday. People started eating out more. Many, many occupations ended up working all 7 days of the week. So, in those cases, how are you supposed to honor the Sabbath? Now, I realize that there's still some people today who say absolutely nothing on Sunday. But I wonder if they really don't do anything on Sunday. For example, if I'm not supposed to work and I don't on Sunday, well, actually, I do. I'm a pastor. I work. Well, let's assume that most people don't work on Sunday, so they're keeping the Sabbath holy. Well, are they going to church on their Sabbath? Hmm, that's a good question. And then are they going to the restaurants? If they get sick, are they going to the hospitals? If they're on vacation, do they not travel? You see, when we make keeping the Sabbath a ritual and a ceremony, then we run into all kinds of rules. Rules, rules, rules. And there's no end to the number of situations that require a new rule. Now, to be honest about it, the Sabbath in Jewish culture and history is really Friday night to Saturday night. It's not Sunday. Now, the reason the church considers Sunday to be the Sabbath is because Jesus rose from the dead on a Sunday. But in Jewish calendar, Sunday was the first day of the week. It wasn't the last one. So technically, if you're going to keep the rules and you're not Jewish, then you got to go to church on Saturday. And there are only a few religious groups that do that. And you got to start on Friday night at sundown, not Saturday morning. But as I said, if keeping the Sabbath holy is just based on rules and rules and rules, you'll never get to the end of it. So what I think this passage is trying to tell us today is two things. Number one, the Sabbath was intended for rest. Even Jesus got accused of healing on the Sabbath. And he faced his accusers and said, well, if your animal is stuck in the mud on the Sabbath, would you just leave it there? Well, of course not. So why can't people get healed on the Sabbath? First thing is we have to have a day of rest. We human beings are not made to work 24/7, 7 days a week. One time I had a construction job and we worked 10-hour days, 4 days a week. And that was pretty good. Then we got behind and we went to 5 days a week. And then the project got behind and they went to 6 days a week. And then it got behind some more, so they went to 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. And for about 6 weeks, that's the work schedule. And you know what? It came to me that after about 40, 45, 50 hours of work, they really weren't getting much accomplished. But the bosses said, oh, you got to work. So what did they do? They deprived people of resting and just extended the work efficiency. So when we look at the Sabbath, the second thing is it's supposed to be worshiping God. I don't think God really cares what day of the week you do that. I really don't. I think he does care if you don't do it. I think he is concerned if we don't spend time walking and talking and visiting with him. That's called worship. So this coming week, when the Sabbath rolls around, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to follow rules? Or are you going to try to understand the spirit of the rule and rest and worship God? Well, you think about it. It's your choice. I can't make it for you. Thank you for listening to me today. If you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.